Despite being 3 times heavier, the silver at the top is probably worth less than those 3 different silver pieces at the bottom. This is because those pieces are considered collectible, and most of their value actually comes from the fact that they're not common to find. And on top of that, there's a large amount of people who are interested in buying them as well. They're from different series that are popular, especially the American Silver Eagle series. And then that horseshoe is just a very unique piece to be graded by PCGS at all. Technically, I think it has a coin on the back, is how it works. It's definitely not something you see every day, though. And because of that, there's a lot of collectors out there who are interested in buying pieces like that, and they're willing to pay a lot more than what the silver inside of them is worth. Whereas what you see at the top is just pure silver bullion in the form of silver shot. Excuse me, I don't know why I had so much trouble saying that. Got a little tripped up on my S's there. But silver shot is not something that is rare in any way. It's not unique. It's something that a ton of people sell every single day to anyone out there who wants to buy it, and it looks the same every time. So there's really not much value to it beyond the fact that it is just pure silver. And having silver in its pure form is worth a tiny bit more than what silver costs usually to us as the consumer. But at the same time, you can purchase it for very close to the melt value of silver versus one of those pieces at the bottom costing several times what their melt value is worth. And you, as a new silver stacker, really want to consider which type of silver you're buying, because ultimately the goal of your silver stack might be different than someone else. And if you start making purchases that don't align with your goals, you're going to end up either having to sell pieces off that you ended up realizing that you don't want, or you're just going to be in a position that's worse than you could have been had you focused your efforts properly. Because let's say you want to try and have the most silver possible to protect your money. Well, buying collectible pieces requires a lot of knowledge outside of the silver market itself. And if you buy coins from a certain series and they go down in value, even if silver went up in value, you're going to be losing money despite the fact that your goal was never to collect silver in the first place. Your goal was just to have as much silver as possible. And had you gone about trying to achieve the lowest cost average possible by buying cheap silver bullion and cheap 90% silver coins, then you would have benefited the way that you should have in that situation. And it goes the same way for somebody who's trying to collect as well. If you start buying large silver bars and making purchases that are simply not collectible, you're going to probably get bored with silver and you might end up leaving it behind, or you might just not really achieve what you ever wanted out of silver investing. And in either case is far less than ideal. So it's just really important to remember that silver investing is a very broad term, and it might look different for you than somebody else, just depending on what your goals are. So don't ever feel as though you're making the wrong purchases as long as they line up with what your specific goals are, and as long as you're not getting scammed. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Don't go and buy from someone sketchy on eBay who is claiming that they're going to sell you a silver bar for $10 an ounce. That's obviously too good to be true. But those are pretty obvious things that I'm sure you guys can pick up on pretty quickly on. I still want to put it out there though, because I know not everybody has the same level of experience as everyone else. And I think it's really important for silver investing to be accessible to beginners, because that is obviously the future of it and that's how it's going to grow. So I just want to say that I am somebody who has never made the smartest purchases. I would say I haven't really bought silver much recently because I haven't been able to do so. And I don't want you, if you're kind of in a similar position, to ever feel discouraged, because as long as you have the education to understand what you're trying to achieve with silver, it's never too late to go and buy it. The price is not going to explode. And if it does, then you might want to wait, because every time that's happened historically, the prices also come right back down. So you just never really know what's going to happen. But generally speaking, silver prices are pretty stable, and it's never too late for you to start silver stacking.